my natural skin is showing through. We call it a concealer, but this actually did start out as a foundation. It's just that marketers go, well, that's small. It looks like a concealer. We're going to call it a concealer. Yes, you can use it as a concealer for the under eye bags or dark circles for your blemishes, but it is so highly pigmented and so no fillers or anything that a little goes a long way, and that's what I have all over my skin. You're going to get the brush, you're going to get the concealer. The brush is so perfection. I've never even seen one like this. Do you see how it has the little ridges on it? We're going to hear from Rosemary why she designed it that way, but that's the key to the perfect application. $17 is your easy pay, all clean beauty, all cruelty-free, A673010. I'm going to walk over to Miss Rosemary Swift because she is the icon. I bow down. Hello, it's so good to be with you.
Oh, you too,
I wanted to be with you to go over the shades.
Yes.
And maybe we should even look at the models first. How do you want to do this? Because it's important to get the right shade. I even came to her this morning and said, I'm one of these three, I think. And she said, yes, you are. This is the one.
Well, it's funny because these actually really adapt nicely to the skin. They're very forgiving, so they don't have to be the exact color of the skin because I don't put all the fillers and the binders in it, you're leaving that clay, masky kind of off-white look, you know?
Right.
So it works out perfect.
Well,
so,
I'm in the 33.
She's in number 33, and 33 is this color.
Yep.
Now, what's really nice about these, they're very easy to carry around. And as you can see, they're small, they're compact. And what is good about these have been called the Meryl Streep of concealers. And that is because I've won so many awards for it. It is insane. And it's moisturizing. It's dewy for the skin. Now, let's go over the colors quickly. The lightest one we have is the Alabaster. And that is for the true Snow Whites. Then there's the Fair, which is a soft pale. Then there's the Ivory, which is a soft warmth, and it's still on the pale side, with just a little hint of yellow in. Buff Beige is a hint of peach. Correct Sallowness. Light Medium is a universal color. It's the biggest, most popular color, and that is the same colors I'm wearing. The Cool Beige is a hint of peach. The Warm Beige is slight to warm tan. The Tawny Peach, gorgeous color, that one. Medium Honey, and that's honey with a cool undertone. Tanned Amber. And that's Beyonce's color. And then there's the Gold Sienna, Deep Sienna, the Rich Auburn, Light Mahogany, which is more of a neutral, the Deep Mahogany, which is a little bit of a reddish hue to it, and then the Rich Ebony, which is the deepest of the deep.
Beautiful.
Yes, now, we are using the Tanned Amber, right? Am I right about that? Yes. Do you want me to pop a little bit on?
In the Tanned Amber.
Now, I want to show you guys. Actually, you know what? I'm going to show you something about this brush. This brush has a swirl in it. Everybody said, why don't you have brushes? I said, I'm not going to have brushes until I could find something that mimics a fingerprint, because skin-to-skin application is the best.
I knew there was a reason for that swirl that I had never seen before.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, you can literally do your foundation with this without even needing a mirror, because it blends out. It's rounded on the edge, no square edges.
So you just dip it right into the pot?
I just dip it right in the pot and just paint away. And again, you don't have to do the full face. If you want to do full face, you definitely can do full face, but you can just use under the eye if you want as a little concealer. I love to use my fingers just going in like that. And you want to make sure you get around the nose and give it a nice good rub in there. And it just smooths out and gets rid of any little, blackheads or any pores that are showing, and defines it out beautifully. And you can also mix this with a little hint of an oil, which you'll see about this later. I'll show you that later. And combine a little bit with this, and you have a tinted moisturizer that is very soft and very forgiving.
Well, your whole look is very, I hesitate to say dewy, because it's not wet looking, but it's so bright and luminescent. That's the thing. As we age especially, our skin gets drier and drier, and then you can just see it's just caking on, and you can't really, it looks like makeup. This doesn't look like makeup. Look at Alicia, you see herself shining through. And this is, quote unquote, a concealer, which is why we call it the unsealer.
Well, it's so funny because you're 100% right. We have to let our skin show through because it is not desirable to look at skin. It's all caked up with makeup. You know, I like to say the expression, you know, smack the back of the head, the face falls off onto the ground.
We do not want to see that.
I'm all about the fingers in there. If you want to take your fingers into your product and just rub in where you need it, it is amazing. Take the brush, rub it everywhere you want, and you can even touch up a little underneath little scars on your neck and things like that. But it's very sheer, and it also has the best ingredients. And there's no clays, no talc, no alcohols, and no diatomaceous earth, and none of those drying agents are in there. So it does give a little beautiful, light, reflective glow to the skin. Okay, let me help you, honey bun.
Okay,
I'm coming over. I'm coming over.
So
all right.
Do a little, have your, is it okay to have moisturizer on ahead of time? Do you do the cacao?
You can put the moisturizer on.
Or not the cacao.
And
the cockadoo.
The cockadoo. We'll talk about the cockadoo in a minute. That's a fantastic product, but I love to use that. And I don't use very much because you're getting a lot of moisture in the product, so you don't want to have too much. And it just leaves the skin with a nice dewy glow to it.
Now, a lot of people think that they need to do, and I used to do this too, with a concealer, that it has to be a shade lighter than the skin that you have.
No.
But in this case, no, or never a case.
I don't like to do a shade lighter unless you want to be lighter, but what happens if you're darker and you're making it lighter, it never looks beautiful. You got to match the color. You can go darker easier than you can go dark and then lighter. It just will give a...
So go with the color that you see in the model in the pictures.
Yes.
And we have free exchanges, so you have 30 days to exchange. Try this out. If it's not right, we pay for you to send it back, for us to send you the correct shade, and we'll do that over and over again until you get the right shade. But they are pretty forgiving. I mean, they're so, because again, it's not a face full of makeup. It's not like if you get the wrong color, I could probably do a couple different shades.
Oh, you definitely could. Just depends if you want a little bit of a hint of color to the skin, like you've just been kissed by the sun. But right now, I'm just putting a little bit of concealer on underneath the eye.
I'm
now
starting to get a little darkness under here.
Here's something I want to talk about. This is really important. When people take a concealer, let's say you buy this and you think, oh, I'm going to use this as a concealer. I'm going to take my finger in there and I'm going to go right across like that. Don't do that. It's too much. And what happens is your discoloration usually is just in this area here. Can you see my finger? And if you're putting it right across, you've just created the same look. It just has a different color. So you want to just go in this area.
Just dab in with your finger.
And you don't want a lot. Like if you have a lot here and you're seeing it starting to just look a little too thick, take your finger and just pat it out like this.
It feels amazing, especially moving into the hot. You don't want to feel like sticky. You don't want to feel full face of makeup. I don't even feel like I have anything on, and my natural color just shows through. So let's talk shades. I am in the 33, which is also called warm beige, but we go all the way from alabaster to rich ebony.
Yes. Should I go over it?
Yes, please.
Okay, alabaster, the true Snow White. Then there's the fair, and that's a soft pale that burns easy. The ivory, which is a soft warm, and it's still pale on the you know, it's still actually pale with a little hint of warmth to it. Buff beige is a hint of peach. Now the buff beige is what I put underneath her eyes to correct the little bit of blue hue, because a peach undertone will correct blue in the skin. So that's really important to know too. And the light medium is the universal color. That's the color I'm wearing. Cool beige is a hint of peach in it again, which you can use also as a little concealer for that extra bit of peach. Then the warm beige, slight to warm tan, tawny peach. Love that because it's just this added little peachy tone to the skin, a slight little tan. Medium honey, which is a honey with a cool undertone. Tan to amber, there's your warm golden caramel. And gold sienna, deep sienna, rich auburn, light mahogany, which is a neutral. And the deep mahogany is similar color, just with a hint of reddish undertone. And then the rich ebony is the deepest of the deep.
What was Alicia in?
Alicia was in the tanned amber.
Tanned
amber.
Was a
perfect
okay,
color.
so that's number 55. Now
Yes.
Jill and I could probably go
Jill,
back
what
and
are you
forth with
wearing? I
different
forgot.
colors.
22 and 33. Yeah.
Oh, you're
22 and
mixing
33.
today. Oh, now actually that was a very smart idea because sometimes if you just want a little bit of lightness through here, you use a lighter color. And if you want to go ahead and take a darker color like Jill did, she went in and just did the outside here and just popped it around the outside. It gives a little bit more shading. I don't want to touch up what you've done here.
So what does that do? I've seen that people take like a bronzer and go all the way around.
Okay, well, you know, yeah.
You're like, that's wrong.
Yay.
Tell us, please tell us.
Okay, so I'm not a fan of contouring. When you see the models and you see that beautiful bone structure like this, it's actually
Real.
It's actually real, and it's lighting. It's the bone structure of the model. We're not painting on all these aggressive lines all over. So I like to take a little bit of the uncover up. And I like to just give it a soft little shading and shaping of the skin. And if you'll notice on the TV there, it looks beautiful how you can see there's a little bit of deviance between the lighter and the darker just in places, and it looks so pretty.
It looks so natural, and doesn't it feel so good?
Oh yeah, so light.
So lightweight. You
light.
feel like you're wearing nothing. And then you see her beauty shining through. That's what we want when it comes to, so this isn't just a concealer. As you're seeing, we're doing this all over our faces. And if you look at it and you go, okay, well there's not a lot there, you barely need any. And why is that?
Because of the ingredients.
Yes.
It's super minimal ingredients, really healthy ingredients, and the skin is making love to this product. It's not going, yeah, get off of me, you're drying me out, you're irritating my skin. It is actually having a synergistic relationship. So that is phenomenal.
Beyond clean beauty, cruelty-free, Maddie, the skin.
Maddie,
is
what number are
just-
you again?
So I also have 2. I've got 00 and
Okay.
11.5.
Okay, so you're the fair and the ivory. So we're now lightened the skin tone here a bit. And again, as you can see, she's done a little bit of shaping with a darker one around the outside, a little bit under the chin there. And you can also go down a little bit down the nose. I'm not a fan of doing that. It just causes more trouble than you can imagine. So, beautiful.
You can see the freckles through.
Exactly, and you're not going to feel sticky and dry, you know. And it just is beautiful on the skin. And again, it was the Meryl Streep of concealers.
Love it.
And beautiful.
Well, you are getting both the brush, which mimics a fingerprint, which really gives you that perfect application as if Rosemary was doing your face. And then you also get the concealer. Free exchanges for 30 days for shade. $17 is your easy pay, A673101. We're gonna take a look at my top, which will be coming up in the next